In this video, I'll be showing you how you can make an underground desert city. Before we move on with this video, I'd like to announce we have another live stream coming up on the channel. So, the times of this will be on May 17th, 2024 at 4 p.m. PST. All the other time zones will be on the screen right now. And now let's jump back in. First thing you're going to want to do is find a suitable location. In this case, a desert. And then you're going to want to dig down in a decent way for our underground city here. And make sure you try to save most of the sand and sandstone you gather so we can make the roof. I'm going to have most of my houses poking out of the sand to make it a little more noticeable and like sand has filled it all in. So for this build, I'm going to try and use most of these different types of sandstone along with the slabs and the stairs that they have. And make sure you add some detail, maybe add some glass panes or glass carpet around the area. You could even make a little park, a few trees, wherever you want in this underground desert city. In this ancient city, you'll be able to walk through underground as a historical site. All that we're going to do is to make a roof over top though. First we're going to make this city and then we can put on the roof. So I'm going to make a path going right through the middle here with different sand blocks just to show that it's been used and stuff, and this will be going through the center of our whole city. And with this path, you're also going to want to add in some terracotta. So a little bit of this mix in on the path as well. And so here's a simple path just going somewhat through the middle, using these two colors of terracotta, the normal and white, and just using sand. I think it looks pretty nice. Now, in the middle of right here in this path, we're going to make a little center with a fountain. So we're going to put that in here. And then we're also going to add little lanes going through this one big path. And in between these lanes will be houses, markets, even one park. So let's get to making the center here. So with this, I'm going to use the chiseled sandstone and the cut sandstone. That's to make a nice little look. So I'm just going to go around like this, putting 5 on each side here with the corners cut just like that. And then in the middle here, we're going to put it up into somewhat like right here. Put a smooth sandstone slab and put water over top of that. And you can always make this higher to make it look nicer. Like we can put it up to here. And you can see it's a lot more noticeable. And you can always add little features around here. You can add a lantern. You can add in a bell. I'm going to get to the details later in this video though. So if you want any little tips or see what I'm doing for that, wait later in this video. And now all that I'm going to do is put sand and terracotta going around this fountain here. Somewhat just like that. And I think this actually looks really nice. It's really getting the vibe that I think makes it look like it's been here for a long time. And no one has actually been here in a while. So now starting with one of the alleyways, I'm going to put it right here. I'm just gonna lightly put in some sand. And I'm gonna only make this path 3 blocks wide. So I am not gonna put that much terracotta or sand, just because also this wouldn't be used as much. Yet it still stands out. So now in here you can put in a little stall. And then here you can put a house, whatever you want. I'm gonna put in a market stall here in a house, as I was saying, and I'll come back to you when I'm done and show you what I did. So here's the little stall I made, and as you can see, I'm mixing some of the red sand here. Using this smooth red sandstone, I was able to make a very nice roof, and in the back here I made some shelves, added in a little bit of a mixed variation of the different kinds of sandstone blocks, slabs, walls, and all of that. And I think it looks pretty nice. And when we're into the details, I might even add some pots on here. But we'll see. Now let's work on the house back here. And here's the house I built. Once again, I mixed in some of the red sandstone because I think it just looks really nice. And I'll be adding in the furniture and maybe a few windows later in this video. So now that we have one alleyway done, over here I'm gonna make a park. So I'm gonna put the alleyway a little more up right here, just so we have a little more room to work with for the park. Somewhat like that. So this one is actually 5 blocks wide, and this one over here was just 3. Now over here, first I'm going to be making a wall around, so I'm gonna put block, a few walls, block, few walls, and block. I'm just gonna keep repeating this until I have a nice little place for our park. And of course for the entrance, leave a gap right there. So in this park, in the middle here, I'm gonna put an azalea tree with a little bit of moss around it and a little bit of water, just because it seems like that's what it would be in a park. And so here now we have our tree, and so around it I'm gonna put in some moss, somewhat like that, and a little bit of water in it right here. But in this water here, I'm also gonna get the slab and just put it right underneath. Just like this. Now this park would probably not be your ordinary park that you have all the time now, because this is ancient and in the desert, they would probably have other things to do. Probably a lot of hand-on projects. Maybe it would be just playing with the sand, so we can make a little sand pile over here. Maybe it's just playing all together and hiding from each other, so we can put a few little structures over here, over there, and then just running around playing with each other. So I'm gonna put in more terracotta and sand here to make it look like it's been worn out. Somewhat like that. And I think that looks pretty nice. Maybe you don't see it as a park, but anyway, it looks pretty nice and mixed in with the city that we're making. So now I'm gonna move all the way over here, and I'm gonna use this decently big space right here to make, let's say, a little market or a little store. So I'm gonna make the base of it right here and put this up, and I'll show you how I make this when I'm done. And here's our little shop. As you can see, the roof is kind of busy, but I'm gonna keep it that way for now. And as you can see inside here, we have some shelves using stairs and slabs at the top. We have the counter, we have a little table, and all these are for display stuff. Once again, I'll add lighting and more decorations when we get to that step. And we already have some people here looking over the city. How do you think this place looks, sir? He said it looks good. I think. Why don't we add a few other stalls? We can add in maybe a library, maybe even a temple. We can add a few of these things in. I'm gonna go ahead and build myself a few more houses, a temple, a library, as I was saying. And I'll come back to you when I'm done. And after a while, I think I have a pretty good city, or town. Here I have a library, as you can see, and I have some books here in some shelves and the desk. Then over here I have a creeper temple, which this is probably what they would have been worshipping back then, because like why else would they put creepers on these sandstone blocks? And then over here I put in some more stalls and another house with a stall outside of it. And then over here I didn't know what to build, so I just built this. Looks like we're pretty much done, except for the detail and the lighting. But in order to do the lighting, we're gonna have to make the roof. So let's get to that. There's 2 ways how you can do this to make it look natural. You can either do sandstone and then sand, or you can do string and sand, because sand can actually go on top of string, along with concrete powder. So I'm just gonna be doing the sandstone one, just because that's easiest at the moment to place. And I want to make sure I go along with the terrain here to make it look natural. and I'll come back when I'm done. And of course, you don't have to cover it up if you want. This is just a decision that I'm making, but you totally don't have to do it. You can leave it like this. Leaving it like that looks pretty cool anyway, but if you are gonna do it like this, then, well, we'll keep going. And you really don't need much lighting if you leave it like this, because using the slabs, it already gives off light, as you can see. But, of course, still add detail with lanterns and maybe even carpet, pots, whatever you want. And as you can see, all that you can actually see of the underground city is now the tops poking through the sand. And this took me actually a long time to put over top. If you want to put in the time and effort, you can go right ahead and do this. But you don't have to. This is totally what I did. And then you can make a staircase to go down. My gosh, there's a lot of mobs. Let's put in some lights. So first off, I actually just want to start in the water here with some sea pickles. Which, in order to do that though, we're going to have to take away the slabs. Just because I know that adds a little bit of light and it looks pretty cool around the tree. And now along the main path, we're going to put in some walls. And then we're going to put netherrack with flint and steel on top. That will make a fire. And then we can put trapdoors. I'm using birch because it looks nice for here around it. And there you go. That's all that you need to do along this path. And this is perfect for either with it being underground or with nighttime. And you can easily extinguish it and relight it. And it will keep going forever because it's on top of netherrack. Now that we have a few of them in here, it's already lighting up the place a lot. But let's add in some more light with some lanterns. So we can put a few of these right here on the stalls. Maybe some right here at the park. And wherever you would like to put them. I think that's pretty well lit up. And make sure you light up inside the houses and the stalls. Now that it's all lit up, let's work inside the houses. So in this house here that I've built, I'm just gonna put a bed here. I like to use scaffolding as side tables, and I'm just gonna put a few things up here. Gonna put that, maybe a little painting right here, too big, so let's put it smaller. And then we can put in a little bit of ladder, just because, and I think that looks actually pretty nice. And now at this house, I'm gonna pretty much do the same thing, but it looks like this will be for more people. So I'm gonna put up a little more. Gonna put that, gonna have that. And then we're gonna put not that big of a painting. We're gonna put a painting right here. You can put on a little more table as well right here using the smooth sandstone like this. Put a few ladders at the sides. You can put a little bit of a desk right here on the side there, and this is looking nice. And I'm just gonna grab a lantern so we can add a tiny bit more light. And there you go, guys. That's how you can make an underground desert city. If you enjoyed this video, maybe leave a like, and if you really liked it, maybe subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. See ya, guys.